Ever heard of the phrase working from home? Chances are you're even doing it right now. When the COVID-19 pandemic happened, countries across the globe began implementing lockdowns and quarantines, forcing people to stay in their homes and businesses to shift their working style. A lot of employees had to shift from working in their offices to working from home. And word on the street is, things might stay that way even past COVID-19. What does remote work entail? Will it be more beneficial for employees and employers alike to continue remote work? And what does the future have in store for remote work? We're going to be answering all those questions and more in today's video, so sit back and relax as I talk to you about the future of remote work. This is New Technology Today, bringing you the hottest tech innovations straight to your screen, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. And of course, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to keep yourself up to date. So, remote working. What is it exactly? Well, remote work basically means working in a non-traditional setting. It removes the need to come into the office each day to work 8 hours straight. In the past, remote work was frowned upon by employers because they didn't believe that their employees could be productive if they weren't in a traditional office setting. However, thanks to advancements in technology, remote work has actually proven to be much more effective nowadays. With remote work, employees can work from the comfort of their homes, or they could go to any space where they could be their most productive. Virtual private networks, or VPNs, cloud storage, and various internet communication tools that allow for instant messaging and video chats are readily available for employees to use, and these tools are guaranteed to make the employee's workflow much smoother. The concept of the workplace is continually shifting as more and more companies allow their workers to do their work in the manner that they are most comfortable with. In line with that, new trends and technologies are emerging to make remote work flow even more smoothly. Let's take a look at some of the upcoming advancements. First up, we have the rise of co-working spaces. Co-working spaces are spaces that people can rent out for a few hours or so to do their work. These spaces are meant to give people the most comfortable working environments possible, and some spaces even provide patrons with free tea and coffee. If you've heard of the company WeWork, co-working spaces are just like that. It can be treated like an office away from your actual office, except it's probably a lot more relaxing and a lot more colorful. Secondly, more project management apps will be developed, and the ones that are already on the market will be enhanced even further. If you already have teammates who are working remotely, you're probably familiar with apps like Trello, Jira, and Asana, project management apps that help employers and employees keep track of the work that is being done. You may even had some experience using them, and productivity trackers, apps that basically keep track of how much work you're doing while you're clocked in. These project management software are created to keep workers in check and ensure that work is getting accomplished even if it's being done remotely. Expect a lot more of such software hitting the market, especially with more and more workers working remotely nowadays. Now you're probably wondering how teams would be able to effectively communicate with one another if they're not working together in a physical office. Well, that's a third thing we're going to be talking about. We all use instant messaging platforms like Messenger, WhatsApp, Viber, and the like, and we're all familiar with how they work. There are apps like those created for workspaces. There have been software developed specifically for the purpose of keeping teams connected. An example of this is Slack. Think of it as a supercharged messaging app. Teams can not only use it to send messages to one another, but they can also connect it to various project management software to better keep track of work. Teams can also stay connected by using video conferencing apps like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meets, all of which are continually developing their platforms to make them more user-friendly. Facebook's Messenger has even begun to catch up to the trend by creating Messenger Rooms, a feature that allows for up to 50 people to join in a video call, which is useful for bigger work teams. Of course, organizations will continually rely on technology to make sure that the workflow and communication within their teams will be seamless and efficient. It will do well for companies to adapt to having remote work and a digital workspace. According to a survey done by Buffer, about 99% of those who are currently doing remote work would prefer to work remotely for at least a portion of their work week, for as long as they are working. Another study done by Global Workplace Analytics found that around 37% of employees who are working remotely would accept a 10% pay cut if it meant they could continue working from their homes. In fact, schedule and location flexibility are two of the factors that workers take into consideration nowadays when they come to finding work. This is why organizations should look into enhancing and developing their remote work policies. This doesn't mean that employees would never have to go back to their main offices. In fact, experts are suggesting that companies only require their employees to report to their main offices on a particular day or days of the week, while the other days could be for remote work. This would still be much better than having to report to the main office every single day. Analysts predict that remote work is here to stay. Even when the pandemic dies down, a lot of employees would still prefer to work from their homes or in spaces more conducive for them to produce. A survey done by research company Gartner found that 317 industry leaders and CFOs, 74% of these individuals are planning to work remotely permanently even after the pandemic. According to these individuals, cutting down on costs is one of the biggest factors for working remotely, as organizations would be able to save on things that they would normally spend on while on-site, like tech and real estate. Employees have also found that they are able to save a great deal of money on commuting and food expenses compared to when they are working in their physical offices. What are your thoughts on the future of remote work? Are you for it or against it? What tech are you most excited to see develop to better the conditions of remote work? Let me know in the comments section below, and I'll be responding to all of you who comment within the first hour. If you like this video, you should definitely check out my other video called Shoji, Takeuchi, and the Rise of the Biohybrid Robots. If you ever watch one of those sci-fi movies where robots resemble actual people, then you better keep watching. This tech is set to enhance and improve the way robotics is done, and it may even change the way robotics themselves are designed. A paper published in the Science Robotics Journal in 2018 details the findings of researchers from the University of Tokyo. In their paper, they presented their new biohybrid robot, a unification of technology and biology, an amalgamation of robotics and living tissue. But wait, how did they do that? What are the implications of these types of robots in the field of science? And what does Shoji Takeuchi have to do with the rise of these biohybrid robots? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about on Shoji Takeuchi and the Rise of the Biohybrid Robots. Stay connected, stay up to date.